Good morning, everybody. Hi, morning. So today I'm going to be showing you some beaded necklace designs. So I'm going to let a few people sign up and watch in on us, hopefully. I've got lots of different ideas here to show you. Morning. Hi, Mum. Hi, Joe. Hello. Thanks for joining me. I've got lots of bits here to show you, all sorts of different designs that we're going to talk through, how you'll do them, different materials that you'll use. So we'll just give people a minute to sign up and then we can we'll get started. Brilliant. Okay, morning, Kathy. So if you've got any questions at all, then just pop them up. I'll leave my comments on so I can see whether you've got anything you'd like to ask, and I'll try and answer them for you as we go. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning. Morning, Janina. My name's Amy Surman. Hi, Sue. My name's Amy Surman of the Oxford Bead Shop, or Amy Surman School of Jewellery. We've been doing lots of tutorials via Facebook Live. We're in our fifth week. I don't know. I've completely lost track of time. I'm really enjoying it though, so thank you for continuing to join me in this. What I thought I'd do today, we've been doing lots of technique, we've been doing lots of tutorials. What I thought we'd do, morning Emma. What I thought we'd do today is have a little look at some ideas. So all of that content that you've been delivered via Facebook, all that information that I've been delivering to you, it's about putting it into other ideas, really. So that's what this morning is about. It's about giving you some ideas for some necklace designs using a lot of the techniques that we've already done. So we've looked at stringing, was the first thing we looked at, using beading wire and crimps. We've looked at wire work by making little earrings, and I did mention that you could make those into pendants, so we're going to have a little look at that. We've done kamihimo, we've done knotting, we've done some PMC stuff. So what I've tried to do is I've got a selection of items here to show you, to give you some ideas of how you can use those techniques that we've already looked at during our tutorials. Okay, so starting really simply then, something like this, for instance. This is a piece that I wear all the time. I've got two beads in this design. I've got my little, these are hematite beads, which I love. They're actually like a little hexagon shape. And then I've got a little seed bead in between. And all I've done is I've strung it up on some beading wire and crimped it at the end. And you can make that any length that you want. I've actually made a nice handmade clasp there as well. Look at that. So I've made that out of some 1.5mm wire. So that's really nice to do. We do a little findings workshop where you can learn how to do that. So so really simple single strings, something along those lines. Then kind of continuing with the theme of the stringing, then we've got things where we start to do one continuous line without a clasp. Again, this is something that I wear a lot, and it's been knotted. The idea of this, again, it's on a beading wire. If I can undo the knot. The idea of this is that I made it long enough so I could double it up if I wanted to, so I could have two strings, so it looked like a double layer necklace. In fact, I never wear it like that. So you see, by that, you can do that type of idea if you want to. I never wear it like this. I always get caught up in it. I always wear it with a knot in down there. Definitely interested in findings workshop. Kathy, yeah, brilliant. Well, maybe I could do something throughout the lockdown, maybe, if people buy packs and stuff, Kathy. So, okay, so yeah, I always wear it with a knot there. So it's really nice. And you'll see that if you do that, it looks really nice just long like that. But if you do that, it changes the shape of the neckline as well there, okay? The other thing that you could do with this as well, if it were long enough, is to wear it like that. okay? And then if you're clever about it as well, you could put something that catches into there. Again, it's a different way of wearing the long necklace, and they're really nice to wear. Oh, I'm getting all caught up in it. There we go. All right, so that's just a long one there. And actually our long bead necklace kit gives you all the materials to do something similar to that. So moving on from that, then we've got pieces. Oh, that's just another one. Same idea, no clasp. So that's just crimped together with no clasp. And that's obviously to be worn just as one length, but using some quite unusual beads. So using some nice, all the same colour. So this is all about shape as opposed to colour here. So seed beads, little bicone crystals to split the seed beads up, and then all of these black onyx all the way round. Okay, so that's more about shape than it is about colour and texture, really. Within there are some facets that are smooth, so they're all nice and shiny. So that's more of a kind of a dressy piece, really. Then you've got ideas like this. So with this one, it's linked. Can you see how that's linked there? So with this one, again, I've not put a clasp on this, but you could put a clasp, so you could wear that at any length. But this one's been linked in the middle. So when you're threading this one up, and I did mention this in the first tutorial that I did, when you're threading this one up, you start at one end, you come up through the middle bead, all the way around, back through the middle there, and then you put your other tassel on. And this one's actually crimped at the bottom. Okay, so that's quite nice. Same idea I've used for that one. But you'll notice that what I've got here is I've got a beaded bead in there. Or Swarovski crystal here. Little hematites and then some, again, a sort of more of a dressy going out sort of piece there. But yes, so for the central bead, I've used a beaded bead, and we did a tutorial of that just the other day. Okay, so they're very nice. Now, what about if you want a pendant at the bottom, but you don't want those little dangly sections at the bottom there? What you can do is put a little kind of stopper bead at the bottom, like I've got here, and then come up through your middle bead and split off. So you can make something along those lines. Or there's another idea there. Okay. So that's just got one bead at the bottom. Oh, I've got cramp in my hand. I've got one bead at the bottom there. A tiny little seed bead that the wire goes around, and then it comes up through the middle bead here and it splits off. If you're doing something like that, or if you're doing something where you've got the wires coming in together on either side of the bead, you need to make sure that you start off with smaller beads there. Because if they're too big and they sit next to each other, you'll end up seeing wire, which you don't want to do. You don't want to see any wire. So by putting some smaller beads at the bottom first, it just lets the cord open out, or the wire open out before you start threading up. Okay? So that's those. Then we've got something like this. These are our little kits for our kids' kits, actually, the glass drop necklace kits. But the reason that I want to show you this is because this bead here is a through drilled bead. No, it's not. It's a top drilled bead, not a through drill bead. I need to get myself a little whiteboard. Right, so this, I'll just draw on my pad here. Through drilled bead, meaning that the wire runs straight through the hole. Top drilled bead, meaning that it sits like this. So if you wire something up like this, and then you just have the cord coming out each side, it can make quite a rounded neck. So what you can do to make it a little bit more, a nicer shape, I think, can you see how I've put the little beads up each side? And then I've linked it there. So actually what I've done there is I've got a bead here, bead here, bead here, bead here, and then I've linked it at the top here. So the cord comes out of there and up, out of there and up, and then it splits off. So you see that? Okay. I'll take some pictures of these more closely after this session, so you'll be able to kind of have a better look at them. All right, now moving on from there, but still kind of looking at the stringing side of things. I showed you this one in the Kumihimo session, where we've got starting to combine all these techniques, and that's where it starts to get really interesting as well, is when you're starting to make a Kumihimo piece and then you add it to a strung section. Okay, so again, these are just crimped. And then this one here, this is combining stringing and your wire work. So like I did with the earrings, where we made the little earrings, making a little section there, look, they're all coming off of the chain. So you're making a little cluster, a bigger bead at the bottom, and then all the others coming up. I think I'm going to do a tutorial of how to kind of do that in the coming weeks. But then what we've done is we've put it onto a jump ring, and then we've hung it from the clasp that sits at the front of you. So rather than the clasp being around the back traditionally, the clasp is actually sitting at the front there, which is quite nice. And then all of your beads sitting from the front. Okay. Okay, so again, kind of moving on from that one, but still looking at the wire work. Here's a little wire work piece that's just all gone onto a jump ring. So that's the head pin running through the bead and wired onto a jump ring, the same way that we showed you how to make a little earring. And then there's a little piece of chain with lots of little beads hanging from it again. And then here we've got a little piece of bead work. Look, just to make a little heart. That's like a flat peyote stitch there. And then at the bottom there, we've got a little piece of PMC. So a little PMC charm that we've hung from the bottom. So it's quite nice starting to build up little clusters of pieces, PMC charms or charms that you've bought, and then little pieces of chain with lots of little beads hanging from to create a bit of length, and then something heavier to hang with it. So you create these little clusters, and then just on a very simple chain there. Okay. And then knotting, we had a little look at knotting a couple of weeks ago, and what you can do with the knotting is longer lariat type pieces which have got beads at the end, so they're kind of hanging nicely at the bottom there. And then again, you can make that whatever length you want, and you can just knot it at the front. Quite a nice summery piece. And then exactly the same technique, but just one bead next to each other with a little knot in between. So that's some pearls. And then rather than, and then at the end here, I've just put a clasp on instead of hanging a bead at the bottom. So that's a really nice one to do. Then this one here gets a bit more complicated, but quite nice to use that idea of having a central bead and bringing everything together, but using different weights of cord. So with this one, I'm using a 1mm cord and then some silk. So you have to do quite a bit of planning if you're going to do something like this, because you need to make sure that all of the beads or buttons or whatever it is you're using will fit through the two different types of cord that you're using. So you'll notice that on the 1mm cotton, I've put some really quite large hold beads, and then all I've done to link these two different types of cord together is I've tied a little knot there. Okay, and then you need to make sure that it will all go through this one. So if you need any more advice on that, then do let me know, and I can explain that a little bit more. So the idea there was just to give you some ideas really of all these different types of projects that you can do. What I will do, like I say, is I'll take some photos of everything and then I'll post them up. And if you've got any specific questions about any of the specific necklaces, then do let me know. But all of this that I've shown you, or the technique that's included in all of these projects, will have been previously done in the tutorials that we've been doing since the beginning of lockdown. So I think the first one that I did was March the 20th, I think. So yeah, have a little look back. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to put up a list so you know which, and I'll probably do it on my website, so you know which date to look for which technique, so you're not just kind of scrolling through. Okay, so it's just a short one today. Thank you for joining me. Well, I've put the programme up for this week. We have got Beaded Kamihimo on Thursday at 10:30, and then we've got Craft Club in the afternoon. So Craft Club was something that I wanted to start in the shop at the end of March. It's going to be on the last Thursday of the month, which we will do at the shop when we're all allowed to start going about our daily business again. But I thought, why not? Let's do it on Zoom. I've been doing some really nice Zoom meetups with different groups of people. So why not do it on Zoom? I'm going to be sat here making a mosaic piece, so it doesn't have to be jewellery based. You can be doing whatever it is you want, whether it's jewellery, mosaics. My mum's going to be doing some quilting. So we can just all come together, sit and make for, I don't know, half an hour, however long you want to stay with us. However long you want to stay with us. And I just thought it'd be a nice way of finding out some other ideas and see what other people are up to, really. And then on Saturday afternoon, I'm going to do a shopping trip at the Oxford Bead shop at my shop in Cowley. And if you wanted to have a look at anything specific, then just let me know and I can show you around the shop. I'm going to do it as a live event, so you can ask me questions through commenting and I can show you certain things. And yeah, just to let you know what else we've got, really, because I keep bringing bagfuls and bagfuls over here, but I can't bring everything because I've only got this tiny little room to do it from. I hope you all have a lovely day. It's quite nice and cozy with the rain outside, actually, isn't it? I think it's quite nice. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea and spend the afternoon with my boys, and then I think I'm going to start thinking about my mosaic today. Have a good day. Bye.